Hi, I'm B, and I want to welcome you to my channel. There's approximately 15 million channels that create content, and you landed on mine. I hope you'll stick around and hear what I have to say on this topic and share your thoughts as well in the comments section. As always, please be respectful to the people I'm speaking on. Thank you. Episode 1 of The Truth Never Dies by Jessica Kent. It opens with an exasperated Jessica saying, "Where do I even begin?" I too have the same thought on how to start this video. Maybe I should start where I intended to stop the video today. I ended with, "What the hell did I just watch?" And I mean that with every fiber of my being. What the hell is this? The fact is, we as creators should indeed invoke emotion and provoke thought and conversation. I recently was asked for thoughts on Jason coming forward with information on the time he has spent with Jessica. I was up for that, but felt I owed it to myself and to everyone that I'm speaking to go back to the point where I left off, at her docuseries. To be clear, I'm aware of the events that have transpired since then. I just did not listen to her, and I feel that this is an important and fair thing to do at this point. I left off from making videos and content on her story at that point for several reasons. One, it was painful to continue to watch her, in my opinion, damage her children and herself. I had watched the footage she put out to show Reese was abusive prior to the truth being released, and I use that term, the truth, loosely, and only as her titled docuseries. From that previously released footage, I had doubt seep in from the portion of the house where she was following him from one room to another, seemingly instigating an altercation. I did not under any circumstances want to criticize a victim, so I took a step back. That was what I was thinking, and it was directly from her content. I do believe domestic violence comes in many forms. I still feel Reese was being violent in the clip that Jessica shared when he was yelling in her face. But I also felt something was off in the editing and clips shared with us. She put those out to specifically bolster her claims of Reese being the aggressor and the perpetrator of the abusive acts in that relationship. So I did it. I went to the episode and I clicked play. I quickly stopped the video and grabbed a notebook. I watched 5 minutes and had 4.5 front and back full pages of notes. Her video opens with a quick shot of what seems to be present day of filming at the time, and then a clip of Jessica and Reese sitting in an interview type situation in happier times. Then a different setting and day of Reese sitting alone in front of the camera professing his love and adoration for Jessica. That could very well be from like Mother's Day anniversary type video. Then it's December 7th, 2022, and Jessica's on a body cam in an interview room at the police station with the officer telling her what DV looks like, and she plays with her hair and takes in his words. It jumps to January 5th, 2023. Police are at the door with Reese for what looks to be like what they're taking a report of a stolen vehicle, being the Jeep that Jessica had been driving. August 22nd, 2022. Jessica's sitting out in front of a building. I assume it's the police station or a courthouse. And she states that it's day 1, then quickly says, "Well, it's 8 months day 1. She kind of mumbles, but really it's like the noise of the street and the cars going by, but you can't really understand what she says. But she says she's going to vlog every day until, and I really can't make out what she says, and it says until Reese does something, and it sounds like maybe a hearing or something to that effect, but I couldn't really make that out, so I don't quite know. But that was August 22nd, 22. Then she shows Mindy's phone being recorded. Mindy's speaking in the background, and she's saying that Reese is upset that they didn't come from 11 to 2. It sounds like he was expecting Jason and Jessica to bring the kids for a visit with him. This would appear to be the time Mindy says that they would pay for her dog and herself to go home But they took her to a motel room, and Jessica recorded her phone and deleted the contents from it before she could give her the phone back and return home. Later, I guess Mindy found that that was recoverable information and recovered it and has since put some of that out. But this is from January 2023. That's when Mindy was visiting with her in that Chicago area. Then it goes to May 21st, 2023. And Jessica's on body cam saying, "My kids are fine. My kids are fine. This appears to be a wellness check." The next one is January 5th. We're going backwards. And it's a continuation of the stolen vehicle report from the body cam. Reese expresses concern about Jason being involved and discloses that he was in prison for 10 years for transporting drugs. It jumps to August 21st, 2022. Ring cam of Reese grabbing a suitcase from the porch. It seems like, it's light. He just lifts it up and he quickly leaves. There's nothing really but him picking up this piece of luggage from the porch. It goes to August 2023. Reese and Jessica are sitting on the couch. Reese says, "I feel like a video was shared that shouldn't have been. I know it's bad and I don't defend it, but," and it cuts off. Then we go back to August 26, 2022. It has ring cam of Reese's voice saying, she's just fucking all alone and hateful. She's got nobody to support her, No, she's on her own, but she did that to herself. I didn't fucking do that to her. I'm not quite sure what she's trying to convey to us. So then next clip, January 5th, 2023. It's a continuation of the same body cam from the same stolen vehicle report. Once again. Then she shows where she has a screenshot where she bought Mindy a flight to Chicago on January 4th, 2023. And she adds that it's January 5th of 2023 that Reese calls the police and DCFS, and Mindy arrives on January 6th, 2023. She goes back and shows another clip of the January 5th body cam on the phone with the police are on the phone with Jessica, and she's stating that this is harassment from Reese. Then it goes to a random video of a comment section that appears to be saying that Reese and Mindy used together. March 2023, Reese and Jessica back on the couch doing that interview. This part's heavily edited, very heavily edited. I encourage you to watch what I'm talking about and not just take my word for it. I took copious notes, but he's rolling his eyes. She's clipping and cutting and splicing, and that is not a genuine video. I don't care what he said because it's not. And that's just, there's no way to take that for what it is except for what you hear. Then it goes to December 7th, 2022. We're back to more of the same interview. Jessica says, "I didn't want him arrested. I don't want him in jail." She shows another clip that has no date provided in the video. We have to see her. Let's see. So she's in the kitchen around the kitchen island, and she's saying, "Stop, stop, stop, Reese, stop. You don't want to do this." Jessica says, "You aren't going to threaten to hit me and back me into a fucking corner, Reese. Stop." And the video ends. Are y'all catching some of these dates? Like, we are all over the place. We are in 2022. We are in 2023. We are getting a clip from each one spliced into different things. Just, I have a lot of like, what in the heck am I watching? So I tried to, make a timeline, not timeline, keep time of what she's saying and where she's saying it. So these dates to me were just everywhere. So then we go to March 15th of 2023, and we have Jessica and Jason in an interview room. And Jessica says, "He bear hugged me and tried to grab my face to open my phone with Face ID." Next up is March 31st, 2023. What appears to be a DCFS worker at the door asks for Jessica. Then we have May 17th, 2023. Jason and Jessica on body cam with the U-Haul truck. Jason has his food, of course. We all know what that looks like. Sorry. Then we're on May 19th, 2023. There's a body cam video of an officer speaking to Reese on the phone. He appears to be making a complaint over the phone that someone had entered the home, and they're saying there's no forced entry. However, the screen shows to the left Reese's criminal charges from May 21st, which would be 2 days later, for aggravated assault, discharging a firearm, and the steroids charge. I forget what it's called, but it's a class something narcotic, whatever it was. I'm not sure, but you know what the day I'm talking about. So while she's talking about this police officer making this report, we have 2 days later him being arrested for those charges of the firearm. Okay, now we're back to Jessica in the studio, what appears to be back to that day that she's recording this. And she starts off, I sincerely believe that this is one of the most important things I have done on this app. Throughout this year, I have lost sight of why I started this in the first place. And that is to help other people by sharing my story. And over the years, that has come at a very expensive price when it comes to my mental health. Okay, so what did she just tell us here? Because she's throwing out all these videos of Reese and the police and domestic violence and possibly, and all of these things pointing Reese to be this really horrible man. She's showing all this because she lost sight of why she started on this app in the first place, when that stuff was not why she started on this app in the first place. And sharing her story came at a very expensive price. I can maybe accept that, because apparently she's lied about some of her circumstances and people have caught on to that. And it probably has affected her mental health. But I hope this is not this Reese situation and this my truth of the Reese situation. And I know she's going to go on further from my understanding, but why are you okay. So then she shows negative comments on the screen, like screenshots of negative comments. And then we're to January 5th, 2023. And we're back at the video of Reese reporting the vehicle stolen and concerned for the kids. And he tells the officer, I'm trying to be nice. That clip ends and we move to May 17th, 2023. There's a body cam of Jessica's arms folded with Jason offering a forced entry. I'll take one for the team. They're standing outside. It's back to the U-Haul video, essentially. And he's saying he'll break in and he'll take their rest or do whatever he needs to do to get into that home to gain access. Then we have no date, and Jessica's sitting with who I believe to be Robbie, and I'm not positive on that. But they're calling the Arkansas County clerk, and she's on the phone, and they're recording her, and it's clipped, it's edited, and it's about the CI document that Tracy Noel had showed on her channel at one point. And the woman on the phone said, is that the one she posted? Because I don't know where she got it. The judge denied that. So they didn't say it wasn't real. So I don't know what she's trying to prove with that clip. But then we move on to October 17th, 2022. We're back a whole nother year at this point. And we have Jessica carrying on the ring cam, walking out the front door, and she's carrying a large trash bag out the front door. There's no context. There's nothing to that. But then we go with no date into the kitchen. Jessica's standing kind of between the kitchen, maybe dining room area. And she's just standing there in front of the camera, like full body shot, like distance away from the camera. And she puts her head in her hands and she's just like, oh, and all I can take is this is a sympathy grab. I'm not sure what it tried to depict, because that's all I took from it was a sympathy grab. Like, oh, look at me. I'm so distraught. And that's just how it came across. Then we have February 2nd, and we're missing the year. And she plays a voicemail from Reese. Then we have another no date, and it's a ring cam of Jessica with 2 officers, but there's Christmas lights off in the background of a house behind where they're standing, and they say, "Are you Jessica?" And that's the extent of that. We have April 22nd, 2023, a blink cam on the porch, and someone says, "Are you Jessica?" This one appears to look like a process server to me, and I mean, that's just something that happens when you're in litigation with somebody and things are happening. June 27th, 2023, another ring cam video, and this one, I mean, I'm guessing, but it looks like a DCFS worker. Then she inserts a clip of Tracy Noel saying challenge accepted. Then we have Mindy on green screen saying something about the House of Tweakers. Then we go with Jason and Jessica on the couch in her studio, and she's like in the fetal position, like, oh, crying, and Jason's rubbing her arm and telling her that when she passes a drug test, they will close the case. This woman either has cameras going in her house 24/7 and she's not sharing but little bits and pieces, or she's filming herself for a reason. That's all I can tell you. So then we have Jessica filming herself crying, and she's saying she's scared to tell her story because it's going to be worse. And I'd have to agree with her. I mean, that's probably the one thing that I'm like, I have to agree with you that all this is it's being made worse. That's all I can tell you. This is worse. Everything you've done has made this situation worse. So that's the most real thing I saw through it. March 2023. She puts a note up on the screen that, and this is her and Reese again having that interview, and she puts on the screen that this was 2 weeks before the U-Haul. So the U-Haul was, from my calculation, would that be March 17th? So this is back when we're now sitting with Reese and Jessica on the couch. They're laughing about her intro. He says, "No, that wasn't it," and she clips. It's very clipped. Anything about that interview is very clipped. So then we have Jessica back in the studio doing her intro for the Ride or Die and saying that you deserve transparency to her Ride or Die. So then she says, episode 1. The past 18 months, the paperwork. And the video starts. And I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? Because I thought I was watching her episode 1. So no, this is where we're like 5.5 minutes in or something to that effect. And we're now starting episode 1, the paperwork. What the hell did I just watch? Why was that there? What was the context of that highly edited, highly she's trying to put us in a position to sympathize with her, to see her as a victim. And I'm not saying she's not. Please don't take it that way. But I mean, this is what she is making content. She didn't put out a video and say, this is what happened when I went to the police station at this date. This is what happened when Reese filed the missing vehicle, stolen vehicle, and welfare check for the kids. It was so peppered in, and it looked so volatile, like they just kept knocking on her door. Every time she turned around, there was something happening. And I don't doubt that it was that way. I've been through a contentious divorce, and it does happen kind of that way. I get what but you can't just put things out there one-sided. This is very one-sided. This is very much Jessica's story. And I think, we knew that going into it, but I really didn't think it was going to be this highly edited and this damaging towards Reese. I'm not saying Reese doesn't deserve any criticism or that we shouldn't know well, I don't even know we should know any of this, but I think it's because she put it all out. We're all interested and want to know the whole story. But she didn't start the whole story, and I haven't even apparently I haven't even started episode 1. I mean, that what if I was so like, what is this? And why is it okay, that was October 22. This is January 5th of 23. It was so all over the place and spliced together. So I just want everybody to look at this with an open mind of, are we seeing what we're seeing? Are we being misled? Are we being led? And I haven't even started episode 1 apparently, and I've already been 5 minutes into this. There's still, I don't know, an hour and a half left. So I'm going to do the rest of it. We're going to go on with the paperwork next. But I wanted to explain to you why I went back to it, where I'm at after watching that. Is that the intro? Because then she goes into where she's doing an intro sitting by herself in front of the camera, just talking one-on-one with the camera to her ride or die transparency. But what the frick was that 5 minutes? Was that not the intro? Or was that just to set the mood to make me be like, oh, poor Jessica, she's been attacked relentlessly. Reese has been relentless in this situation. I don't agree about the Jeep. I don't agree about some things. I agree he had every right for a wellness check. I agree he had every right to be concerned about the children. It's proven fact now. I mean, hindsight 2020, because I am doing this now, not when she did this release, but now that Jason has spoken, we know everything wasn't peaches and creams in that house and what those kids were going through and what they were being exposed to. So is Reese wrong to ask people, are my kids okay? I don't think so. I don't think he's wrong at all. I think he has every right to do that. I don't want to pepper this or interject too much of what I know now with what was happening then, because I am trying to go back and move forward. But we all know what's happened. So how do you do that? So that's what I'm going to attempt to do, is to make my way through these episodes. I hope you have some thought on this and can maybe walk through it with me. But we're going to do that. And I appreciate you for watching. Hit the like, subscribe if you're not already. I'm going to work on my next episode of episode 1. So episode 1A. I don't know what we're doing here. But I'm going to continue on from right here, moving forward, and have a talk about it in my next video. Hope you join me there. Thank you. Bye-bye.